Hello, everybody. My name is Ratnos, and today we have some cooking stuff from War Within and some bags. So these are a couple posts from Wowhead over the past week and a bit. Let's start off with one of the bags, which is the Athor Courier's Satchel, which is a unique equipped 34 slot bag that gives you 3% run speed while outdoors in Kaz Algar, which is pretty cool. This idea of like putting little trinket power on bags I think is interesting, because for several expansions in WoW's history they would just take bags and they would give you extra slots going into the new expansion, and now for the last few expansions we've kind of been at a point where they're like, we're not actually doing that. We're not, you're not going to get up to 70 slot bags or whatever. We're kind of capping it here. But that's kind of made it so that the new bags are pointless, and now they've instead come up with giving you little trinket text, warbands bound satchels as well, which I don't know if this means, I think when you use it it's therefore bound to your warband, but so like I don't think you have to craft this on a character in your warband. I think you can still buy it from the AH or whatever. And also I guess it looks like it's 34 slot bag from the tooltip, but then their screenshot says 32 slot bag, so maybe they're still deciding how many slots this thing is going to have. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I like this idea. They've also added in a bunch of other profession bags. So, actually, these say bag. So I wonder if these are profession bags or just regular bags. I would assume these are, profession bags. I'm not sure. Either way, these are a bunch of bags that have, and you can equip 2 different profession bags. So, they require the profession. So these are actually just regular bags. They have more slots in them as well. And they also have little benefits to that profession. So, for example, the inscription one gives you, it's a 38 slot bag, requires inscription, and transcribing a Dark Moon card has a 5% chance to create another. So you get 5% multi-craft on your Dark Moon card crafts. Cool. The alchemy one increases the chance to discover a new recipe on your experimentations by 1%. The blacksmithing one, every 5 crafts of ever-burning ignition will refund 1 charge. The engineering one says increase the yield of scrap from most sources by 1. The mining one says the cooldown of overload deposit is reduced by an additional 1% when mining. The jewel crafting one is a maximum yield of crushed gemstones increased by 1. And the tailoring one is every 10 crafts of dawn thread or dusk thread will return a charge of that craft. So these are all pretty nice little trinket texts of various amounts, but also they're all crucially 38 slot bags, except for the tailoring one is a reagent bag. The other ones are bags. Tailoring one's a reagent bag. And then we have some other ones as well, which is the herbalism one has the overload effect as well. And then the enchanting one and the leatherworking one, they haven't actually added the effects in yet. But either way, it looks like, first of all, just having 2 professions at level 25 so that you can have your bags equipped will mean extra inventory space in War Within, which sounds pretty cool. And then also having one of these things is going to give you a little bit of extra juice in your profession, which also sounds pretty cool. It's going to be, I wonder what's going to happen if you switch professions. Imagine if you just unlearn your profession because you want to switch your professions, and then one of your bags just gets unequipped. What's going to happen there? I don't know that. Or imagine if it's just like, you can't unlearn this profession until you clear, 7, until you change your bag around, so you don't have that one equipped anymore. I wonder how that's going to be handled. But either way, a neat little thing in War Within. I assume these bags are all created by tailoring as well. I'm not 100% sure. And then, if you're not a tailor, right, if you're just an engineer, you buy one of these from the auction house because they're BOE, but I don't know that for sure, so I could be making that up. That's pure speculation. Let's get into cooking. So cooking, we have some interesting stuff here. We have hearty meals, which are food that's linked to your warband and can persist through death. Any meal can be a hearty meal, and there are hearty variants of these things as well. So this is basically, Flavor Pocket from Dragonflight. It looks like you can just get those with hearty meals. Now, I don't know how exactly those work. Maybe it's a proc that you can just turn something into a hearty meal, or maybe they're craftable separately as these hearty meals. But I love the idea of being able to have, first of all, if it's a proc or if it's a more expensive recipe, that kind of adds some value to cooking. That's potentially pretty cool. And then you use these for M+, or, if you want to save time in raid, you just fill up with, or you use the Hearty Feast, right? And then bang, nobody has to refeast between pulls. That sounds sweet. Potentially a luxury item that could be worth a reasonable amount of gold as well. Okay, so we have then snacks, quick and easy, which all give you these are like minor effects and then slightly less minor effects, but these are all, I assume, pretty low value things that are going to give you stamina and primary stat there's one for each primary stat, either the 39 stamina, 22 primary stat, or 59 stamina, 32 primary stat. Then we have the nutritious and delicious category, where you can get 90 stamina, or it looks like these are the same values here of 59 stamina, 32 primary stat on these ones as well. Best of the best, which don't have their stuff yet, so we actually don't know whether these are also going to be, say, stamina and primary stat, or what's going to happen there. But then we do know there are feasts. Now, we don't know what the feasts actually give yet, except for the everything stew, which gives you 70 to your lowest secondary stat for an hour. Now, that seems bad. This seems like for fun stew, but I imagine that 70 of your lowest secondary is going to be worse than like 32 primary for a lot of specs, especially when you factor in the stamina. Maybe it's slightly better for most specs, but it's close, right? Like, how often is int better than your worst, more than twice better than your worst secondary? Pretty often, or at least it's close, especially at the start of an expansion. So yeah, this is a weird effect, though. It's cool. And then the other one here is the sushi special, which is a food that gives haste and mastery. So a double secondary stat food, 90 total secondary on those. So if there's one of these for each stat combo, which maybe there is, again, these aren't all implemented yet, but these are just some of the first ones to be in. So yeah, I guess we don't really have an idea just yet of how the hearty meal system works, and whether what the actual best foods look like. It's not something that you really need to concern yourself with. It's just, I like making these videos about the profession stuff as it comes out, and once we learn more about these things, I will make another one. But I think the biggest takeaway from this is that it looks like some sort of built-in flavor pocket that isn't going to require you to have a third crafted item, for instance, or spend a bunch of gold on a flavor pocket. It looks like there's going to be flavor pocketed feasts and foods, which I love that. I think that's really, really cool. Anyways, that is just a quick look at some of the new profession developments here on War Within. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.